Yesterday, my husband rested his head on my chest while we were curled up in our tiny sofa watching TV. A few minutes later, he said, "Your heart is saying my name." I raised an eyebrow. How? He kept his head still for a moment, then replied, "The sound of your heartbeat goes like Kojo, Kojo, Kojo." I laughed, lifted his head, and pushed it off my chest. "Take your big head off me before you break something." He tried to lay his head back, but I shifted quickly, and his head hit the armrest of the shoulder. As he groaned in mock pain, I stood up and teased, "Thank God you didn't break the sofa. You would have been buying a new one tomorrow." He jumped up and started chasing me around the room. That's us in a nutshell, every single day. My husband has a million jokes about me. I, on the other hand, have only one: his head. Every joke I make begins and ends with his head. He will say something like, "The way you fart in your sleep, I can't risk traveling with you and letting you doze off around strangers." I'll fire back, "When you wake up every morning, apologize to your neck. It's carrying a heavy load for you." His sense of humor is out of this world. I can be fuming mad, swearing I won't talk to him for the whole day, but one look at his face and I'm already smiling. We've been married for 8 years now, but when he first approached me, I never thought I would say yes. After all his sweet talk, the only thing I remembered was his head. I kept thinking, if this head accidentally falls on me at night, won't it break my bones? I said no repeatedly, but he kept coming back. 3 months after his proposal, he finally said, "Why do you keep saying no? Don't I have the personality you are looking for? Is it about my tribe? Or do you just not see me that way?" I told him, "I don't think you really love me. If you did, I would feel it. There will be a sign, an itch in my palm. I don't feel anything, and it doesn't seem like you love me that much. Sure, you're a good person, but I don't want to say yes just because of that. I need to feel the love too, so we are on the same page." He responded, "Sometimes love takes time to grow. Mine has already grown, but I'm willing to give you time to see if you can love me too." I said, "Okay, fine," but in my head, I was convinced nothing would change. He was always going to just be a friend. He started coming over every night after work, and we would talk for hours. One night, my mom shouted from outside, "Anima, what's so funny? You've been laughing non-stop." That's when I realized how much joy he brought me. He set my ribs on fire with laughter. Slowly, I began to see him differently. The big head faded from view, and I started noticing his kindness, his humor, and how he never wanted to leave when he was with me. Honestly, I didn't want to leave either because, hey, a girl needs her daily dose of laughter. For months, we stayed friends. He never brought up the proposal again. He just kept coming around, taking me out, and listening to my problems, all cracking jokes to lighten the mood. Eventually, I was ready to say yes, but he wasn't picking up my hints. I started dropping obvious clues, but he kept missing them. Finally, I asked him, "Are you seeing someone else? Did you move on after I said no?" He smiled and said, "I thought we agreed I'll wait for you." "So you are still waiting?" After all this time, I asked. "Yeah," he said, "because it's you I want in my life." That was it. That was all I needed to hear. And I said, "Okay, if it's me you want, I'll give you a chance and see where this goes." He lit up. "You've accepted my proposal?" Something like that, I replied. He laughed, he hugged me, and couldn't stop talking. He didn't know what to do to himself. From that day on, we became best friends. With him, I could be myself without pretending. He knows I love food and I don't hide it. When we go out to eat, I order double what he does. He would tease, "Hey, mama, food." And I would shout back, "Big heads don't need much food. Slim people like me do." A year later, we had a huge fight and broke up. It was about his ex girlfriend who kept popping up in his life. I trusted him, but I wasn't comfortable. He told me a classmate's mom had passed away and he was attending the funeral. Turns out it was his ex's mom. What hurt most was that he spent 2 days in her village for the funeral. I felt disrespected and lied to, so I told him to leave me alone. He eventually won me back by running to my mom to plead his case. We got back together, and a year later, we got married. It's been 8 years, no kids yet. What we have is joy beyond measure. A child is a blessing, but we've learned to be a blessing to each other first, and we know our little one will come soon. 8 years isn't a lifetime, but whenever my friend asks about my marriage, I tell them I married my best friend. He didn't bring the real world romance I expected at first, but when I gave him time, he proved he wasn't just going to be my husband. He's he would also be my confidant, my laughter therapist, and my partner in crime. I remember one afternoon when I told him I was going to the salon to fix my hair. I had I had braids, so I wanted to have them removed, wash my hair, and do a little styling. When I told him I was going, he asked, "Will you be gone for long?" I said, "A bit. The braids take time to remove. You are going to leave me all here alone. Come here, teach me how to remove them." Days later, the braids were off. He teased me about my dandruff. "Wow, it looks like you've got a truckload of sand in your hair. We won't need to buy sand when we build a house." Then he joked about the smell. "Next time you go to the salon, pay the girls double for the scent." I didn't need to go back to the salon because from that day, he became my personal braid remover. He even learned to wash my hair with shampoo and dry it with a towel. The best part, I don't have to ask. He volunteers when my braids have overstayed their welcome. I knew I had a great man and a beautiful marriage, but if ever I had doubts, the lockdown erased them completely. We didn't step out until the restrictions were lifted. We lived online. He would find recipes and would attempt to cook them. Most turned out disastrous, but we ate them anyway. He would say that's how new foods are invented. We didn't fail. We created something unique. Let's sell it when Corona is over. We watched dance videos and tried to learn. I was better, but he was hilarious to watch. He would be great while sitting, but the moment he stood up, it was game over. Still, it was fun listening to his commentary. The world was on lockdown, but we were on our second honeymoon. Recently, we were on a night bus from Accra to Kumasi. I was exhausted and ready to sleep, but every time I dozed off, he tapped me and asked a question. We will talk for a bit, and just as I was drifting off again, he would tap me and say, "Look outside. Oh, you missed it." This went on until we arrived. By then, I was annoyed and realized he was doing it on purpose, but I couldn't figure out why. When we got off the bus, I asked him, "Why did you keep waking me up?" He gave me that teasing smile and said, "I couldn't trust you to sleep through the journey without drawing attention to us. Prevention is better than cure." I hit his chest as soon as I understood what he meant. He ran off laughing. "Is it true I fart in my sleep?" I asked. "A lot," he said, "but I'm used to it. The people on the bus aren't. I had to save them." "Shut your mouth," I yelled, laughing. "Why are you laughing?" This is a beautiful story. Yeah, so beautiful marriages till exist. What do you think about this story? Thank you for watching. And this story is from Silas Bees on Facebook.